Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. In this video I will talk about how we can convert Matlab figure to data, data. So as you can see here, this is my current folder. In my current folder I have my figure, and also I have the Matlab code to convert the figure to data. So I will show you my figure here. So this is the figure that I have. This is the blue line is my input and the red line is my output. I saved this Matlab figure, but I don't know exactly the data points that represent each line. So for each line we have x-axis data points and y-axis data points for the blue and the red lines. So how we can convert this Matlab figure into data so that we can manipulate this data or use it in other forms. So I will close this figure and go to my Matlab code. I write this Matlab code. This Matlab code actually consists of 17 lines, and I will explain what each line will do. So the first line will open the figure. I give it the name of my figure, as you can see here, the same, my figure, and this is the extension for the Matlab figure, FIG. So this will open the figure. The second line will handle the object. We'll create an object and it will be stored in H. The third and fourth line, we will get the x-axis data for each line and the y-axis data for each line in the figure. And after that, we will convert this data, the x data and y data, from cell to matrix. As you can see, we convert x-axis data to matrix and also the y data to matrix, so that we can easily manipulate and easily plot and use this data. After that, I calculate the size of rows and column for each matrix, for x and y matrices, and I make a new figure so that this figure here is to open a new figure file so that I can reconstruct the data and plot it again and compare the real figure and also the figure from the data. So because if I didn't put this line, it will eliminate this figure here, that the original figure that I open here. So I put this line to avoid this problem, and after that I make a for loop. This for loop actually will reconstruct the data. From the data it will create an image. So how this loop is working: for I equal 1 to r, this r is the number of the rows that will be in our y matrix or x matrix. So we have the choice to put r or m, because it will give the same result, and this will be updated based on the figure that you have. For example, if you have figure with like 5 lines or 6 lines, so this will be changed along with the number of lines. So after that, plot x I, the number of rows. For example, here in this figure we have 2 lines, red and blue, so this code will be running for 2 times. It will construct x1. For example, for the first running, will construct x1 with all the columns, and also the y1 with all the columns, and after that we put hold on and grid to plot the first line and also the second line on the same figure. Okay, now I will run my code and see the result. Okay, so this is the original figure. This is the original figure, the red and blue line as I show you before, and this is the constructed figure. You can see here it is identical to each other. I have my input, my output, also my input, my output. This is the real figure that I have, and this is the figure that I plotted from the data that I construct from this real figure. So now we will come to the command window, and we can see here in workspace we have our figure, the F figure, and we have the object H, and also we have the X and Y matrices. We see that X contain two rows and 460 columns, and the same for the Y axis data. This is because we have two lines, the red and blue line. So for the X we have the number of rows and the number of columns. Same for the Y, we have the number of the number of rows and also the number of columns. And I, we use it for the for loop to construct the image from the data. So now what I can do with this data, so I can show you how we have the X matrix. As you can see here, it contains two rows and also 460 columns, and also the Y data. As you can see here, the second row is my input, because it's giving me a fixed 5, as you can see here. So now I will plot it individually. Each line I will plot it first, and after that I will put the second line. So for example, I will create an vector x1 equal to x, the first row with all the columns. As you can see here, I create x1 contains the first row with all the columns, and I will do the same for x2 equal to x, second row with all the columns. So I finish from the x, I will go to Y data, y1 equal y, first column with all the data. The same will be for the y2, second row with all the columns data. So now I have my x1, my x2, y1, y2. So I can use this data. This is the data from the figure that we get. For each line we have the x and y data. So now I will plot the first line, x1 slash y1, and as you can see here, so this is my output. This is my output. Now I will write hold on, and I will plot the second line. So as you can see here, this is my input and this is my output. And put grid on. So this is the same. I will open the original figure. So this is the original figure, and this is the figure from the data that we have constructed. So they are almost identical to each other. If we go to the points, okay, I think they are almost identical to each other. So this is how we can construct or get the data from Matlab figure.